I'm Sean Taylor. My practice is physically located in the state capital of Charleston, West Virginia. I have a regional Social Security disability practice. Sometimes I refer to it as an Appalachian practice. We're primarily in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Virginia. But because of technology and the effects of the pandemic and changes in technology, we're really representing folks all over the United States. We have cases in Texas, Oregon, New York, Florida. So it's very portable, and this communication system really helps all of us treat every client as if they were here in the office. So we're very pleased with Case Status and how it's integrated with our case management software and our ability to communicate with clients.
And what is your case management software, Sean, for the folks out there? What are you using?
Years ago, I started off with Needles, which is an assembly product, and then it went cloud-based, and they would call it Neos now. And it very seamlessly integrates with Case Status. We're very, very pleased with the integration.
Talk a little bit about care and trust when it comes to the client relationship, Sean. What have you put into the DNA of your firm?
Well, I've been a lawyer now for 33 years, and I think any of us that have had a long history of practicing law, every case is critical. It's critical to the client. There is a sense of urgency and need with every client, and client communication is critical. My understanding in the research I've done is the most common criticism of lawyers to state bars is that they don't hear from their attorney. They don't know what's going on in the case, or they're getting unsatisfactory answers or untimely answers. So what we have attempted to do prior to Case Status, and what we do, I think, much more efficiently and effectively with Case Status, is to be responsive. Just as an example, prior to Case Status, we had too many streams of communication with clients. For example, a client might have a question as simple as what's going on in my case. They would send that to us by email. If they didn't get a response to an email within an hour, they would follow up with a phone call. Well, my staff is on the phone. All staff are on the phone all day. When they were asked to leave a voicemail, well, then it would be immediately followed up with a text. So we would have one client asking the same questions by three different means of communication, and it was unruly. It was really not manageable. Staff was sending inter-office communication. Hey, have you responded to client X? Yes. Well, I have. Should I do it? Have you done it? Do you know the answer? And what we have done with Case Status is streamline that and effectively pushed our clients into one portal. We no longer provide email addresses to our clients. We no longer provide direct dial telephone numbers to our desk clients. More often than not, if they were calling, we don't know the answer. We need to pull up the case and review the file and be able to give them a competent and accurate answer. And this allows us to build that buffer of time so that we can give them an accurate response and a timely response. One other thing I would add to that, the AI integration has been absolutely remarkable. I frankly hit the AI response to every question and review it to see if it is appropriate. And I will tell you, in my experience, 9 times out of 10, it is a very good response, and one that I will use because it is correct. And it's also written in a tenor that's appropriate for the client. So I know to a degree, maybe I'm not selling the product, but it's just been very effective for us. Sure. Well, I can give you a real world example. This past Friday, I was going to be out of the office. I have twin daughters who were graduating from college on the same day. And I used Case Status to send a bulk message to all open cases, just letting the clients know, hey, to this day, I'm not going to be in the office. All staff is going to be working remotely, but you can still send all your questions, all your inquiries via Case Status, and we'll make sure that you get an answer. So when I got back to home, what I did is when I went into Case Status, I went into message urgency, and I chose what are designated as 4 and 5. Those are high or critical messages as determined by case status. And that's where I started. I thought, well, I'm going to depend upon this software that I've invested in as a consumer, as a lawyer, and let it help me determine which ones seem to be or are graded out as being the most critical. And that's where I started. And I worked my way through those messages first. Once those were completed, I went back into message urgency and checked out of 4 and 5, which were again high and critical. And then what it does is it shows me the list of all the other messages. I then use it just to, I do things in chronological order. So I took them by oldest message first. I wanted to get to the person who had been waiting the longest for a response, and started there and just started working through them. I'll be honest, at this point, I haven't used message category yet, but I'll do that. Frankly, I wasn't, today, I learned today really what that means and how I can deploy that. And while we're on these tools, and while it might not be the right time to do it, I'm going to tell you anyway. While I'm listening to what we're talking about today, I have case status open up on a different monitor. I went into a tab called Client Interactions. And if you look at Client Interactions, it gives you 6 choices of what's available there. Well, one that typically draws my attention is one that says, has not used the app. So I simply clicked on that. It brought me up 72 clients who have not yet used the app. I'd approximate that's probably 6 to 7% of my current open cases. Opened it, went to a pre-made template that said, hey, it's never too late to download the case status app. I sent that, and I bet it took me less than 10 seconds to do that. So what I've done is I always want to try to recreate or re-engage these clients to come to me through this portal rather than calling me or emailing me or texting me. So I only thought of those things, wanted to share those things for me because they are effective. And that's how I've learned to use it. It's an intuitive system for me. I just play around the system and try to take advantage of what's available. Well, I'll address that with a couple of examples, and I'll give you 2 examples that come to mind. You were talking about calendaring, and through case status, we can add appointments. And for Social Security, disability, and SSI claims, we have consultative examinations, or what a personal injury law firm would typically call a independent medical examination for almost every case. And because we add those appointments to case status, and they give the client reminders, typically 2 days in advance or 2 hours in advance, both, the percentage of our clients that are not attending these IMEs or CEs has gone down dramatically. So they're getting their reminders, and they're actually responding with a Y, saying, yes, I will be attending. The second thing that helps is I had a client just before we began today that said, hey, I have a child support hearing in an hour. Do you have any document that I can show the family court judge that proves that I have a claim pending for disability, and that's why I'm unable to pay my child support? And within seconds, I was able to attach a PDF document that showed the status of the case, which was a government document. It was provided by the Social Security Administration, and send it through case status. And within 30 seconds, they had the document that they needed. And the response was, oh, wow, thanks. Could we have done that otherwise? A year ago or 2 years ago, it would have been a lot more difficult to do. So I think that is what contributes to those high numbers. I didn't adopt this platform to get high scores. It wasn't something I ever thought about. I was looking for it really from our ability to reduce the caseload or reduce the chaos on myself and on the staff. And what really the primary benefit and delivery is higher client satisfaction. As a generalization, I think this is true regardless of the method that you use to communicate with clients, but it's at risk of using the wrong analogy. It's kind of the 80-20 rule. 20% of your clients are 80% of your messages. Some of our best clients, never contact us, but say thank you when we update them on the case. And then I have other clients that contact me absolutely daily for a prescription change, for oh, my shoulder hurts. And one of the nice things about that is the AI provides me with a really nice, polite, kind, and empathetic message saying, we're sorry to hear that. Please notify your primary care physician or your specialist, and we respond that way. I can put it to you this way, and I say this with all humility. Everybody has a different size caseload. My chosen practice is a high volume practice. We don't hit home runs. We have to hit a whole lot of singles to be profitable and to earn the income that I like and enjoy. Even with that being said, with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of active cases, I'm able to look at every one of them every day and fit it in. That's with handling a full schedule of disability hearings on almost a daily basis, still making phone calls to clients that want to hear your voice, making primary contact with potential new clients. And I'll do this all between 7:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. I walk away. We are not an emergency room. We're not a hospital. Courts are closed. We can't help you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And we set that boundary, and case status helps us set that boundary.